Go around, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Tower India Echo Lima, downwind 13, touch and go.
India Echo Lima number 3, follow Cessna left base, turning 1 mile final.
India Echo Lima.
Foxtrot Bravo Bravo Tower, fly runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Blue is here, Alpha, change of plans, crossover midfield, join right downwind runway 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, crossover midfield, join the right downwind for 13.
And greetings, everyone. Welcome to Dane Sim Air. This is leg 20 of 23. And today we are actually stationed at the airport that we left off at the end of leg 19. And we are in the Kelowna International Airport in beautiful British Columbia. Today I'm going to be flying the Comanche, actually the favorite airplane that I've now acquired. I really like flying the Comanche, the PA24 250 horsepower. It's a really nice aircraft. And as you can see in the sky today, there's a lot of haze. It's actually not haze, it's smoke from the wildfires. This area was devastated by wildfires, but they are subduing now. Today I'm got a passenger with me. This is Bubba, the bulldog. And he likes flying in the Comanche, so I thought I'd take him along with me today. And I'll just show you on the map where we are and what we're going to be doing. But before I tell you all of that, I must tell you that this is a redo of a flight that I did earlier today with my friend and flying partner Larry of Fun Flyer 23. The problem is, you know, it's like any rule. You shouldn't start a flight without doing a proper checklist. Well, the checklist should also involve your audio and your recording information that you're doing. It turns out at the end of the flight, nothing got recorded. So I was quite upset about that, but I sure learned a lesson to check the audio, check the recording device, check everything before you push the fly button. Just like before flying the airplane, go through the checklist. But anyway, here we are in Kelowna, and we have basically gone through the Rockies. Leg 19 took us from Calgary to Kelowna. Came through the Rockies from Calgary, worked our way all the way into Kelowna. Now leg 19 is taking us down the Okanagan Lake, across the western portion of the Rockies, where it becomes more like the foothills when we get to, say, Hope, where we're going to be landing at Hope as well. And Princeton, I should say. It's kind of getting out of the Rockies. We're on the western edge of it. And our destination today is in Boundary Bay, which is my favorite, one of my favorite airports. It was my home airport when I lived in the seaside town of White Rock, right here, which is on the immediate opposite side of the border to Blaine, Washington. And this is Blaine, Washington, and this is White Rock. And Boundary Bay Airport, Charlie Zulu Bravo Bravo, is a really great airport. So that's our plan today. And with that, I'm going to get the aircraft started and we will be on our way. So I have already done the walk around, and everything is in good order. We're going to fly out using the right tank to start with. And we'll just get things started right now. Oops, bring this tablet back up. Okay, let's close our cabin door. Okay, that's good and locked. Open up this vent, let some air in. And let's get started. Parking brake is on. Let's first remove the yoke for a moment. Master battery is on. Cabin lights are on. Avionics are off. Everything is off there. Landing gear is down and locked. Flaps are up. Circuit breakers are checked. And all other switches are off. We're going to turn the beacon light on. And we'll start the engine. So the first thing we want to do is advance the throttle about 1/4 of an inch. Pull forward on the props and on the mixture control. We want to turn the fuel pump on, and we want to look for fuel pressure up in the top end of the green. While we're waiting for the fuel pressure, we can give it maybe 4 or 5 pumps of the primer. That should do us, and we're going to be taking off on runway 16, by the way. And you can see it's up at the top end of the pressure. It's at 5 pounds pressure, which is perfect. Turn that fuel pump off, and we can engage the starter. Make sure there's no one around. Flare prop. And we shall turn the magnetos on and start the engine. There we go, we got a good start. At first I thought it wasn't going to start, but it did. The throttle at about 1000 RPM. Turn the avionics on. Radios are all turned on. Transponder is set. Heading bug is set. Cabin instrument lights are on. Landing light is on. For the taxi, we use the right landing light for the taxi. Now we're just going to do a run up right here to make sure everything is okay. 2000 RPM. Check the mags. It's only 100. Drop 100, which is normal. Exercise the props. 1, 2, 3. Okay, throttle back to idle. And with that, we can get ready to taxi out to runway 16. So I will be with you in a moment. When I get to 16, I will unpause the video. I'll just give it a pause for this moment. Okay, we are at the threshold of runway 16 and we are ready to go on this hazy day. Let's make sure our windows are closed up. There we go, that's a little better. And yeah, we are ready to go. We're going to be rotating at 85 miles per hour. At full power. Full power going in now. Releasing the brakes. And off we go. Oops. The trim wasn't quite set properly. Okay, let's get off the ground now. Yeah, it is a little hazy today, that's for sure. Okay, gears coming up. Gears up. Flaps are up. We're going to move over to the Okanagan Lake. Reduce power to 24 inches, 2400 RPM. So we're just heading over now to the lake. 2,500. We could settle in at 2,500. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to, I'll show you on the map what our plan is. So we're coming down here to the Kelowna, or the Okanagan Lake I should say. We're going to fly down the lake. We're going to do a touch and go at Penticton. We'll dial in the ILS, which is 110.3 and 159 degrees. And the elevation at Penticton is 1,400 feet. So we're at 3,000, so we can hold it right there. Very smoky day, lots of haze in the air. Okay, let's just check our equipment. Everything's in the green. 2,400 RPM, 24 inches of mercury on the manifold pressure. I think we'll put in 110.3 on the ILS. And we're going to be wanting, right ahead of us is the, we better slow down here a little bit. Don't want to overspeed. There's the marina at the Kelowna, just before the Kelowna Bridge. There's the bridge that we're going over right now. Alright, we'll just hang in at 2,500. And that just puts us at, about 1,500 feet above the elevation at Penticton. Yep, everything's looking good. .3 gallons per hour. Should turn the ADF on even though we're not using ADF right now. Cylinders all look good. Yep, everything is looking good. When we go around this bend to the left, we should be in sight of Penticton. Let's see if we can get a METAR for Penticton, which is the ICAO code for Penticton is Charlie Yankee Foxtrot. METAR Charlie Yankee Foxtrot. 350 at 7 knots. Dean statue miles. That's okay, we'll still do a touch and go at runway 16. As soon as we go around this bend, we should see Penticton. We'll just cut this corner a little bit closer to the hillside. Over to the right, over there is Highway 97. And it follows the coastline all the way down here. This is the town of Peachland. Right over here off my right wingtip. let's cut across the top of this hillside here. We got enough altitude. And we can't really see Penticton very well because of the haze. But it is pretty much right in front of us right there. You can see I've got the ILS tuned in to runway 16. Just gonna bring up the tablet for a moment here and do some housekeeping. What I'd like to do is under the fuel, I'd like to update the digital engine monitor right here. And that updates that monitor. We only have 12 gallons in each tank, so we're going to have to actually, we better make a full stop landing at Penticton and fuel up. That's what we should do. See what our fuel gauge looks like. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think maybe we should fill up at Penticton. So let's get ready for our approach. Lose some altitude. 3,400, we need to come down. We've got 12 nautical miles to go to Penticton. We should be starting to pick up the CDI needle, should come in, pick up the ILS. 11 nautical miles to Penticton. Coming down below 3,000 feet now. We're just going to slide over a little bit to the left, pick up that CDI, pick up the ILS. Start losing a little bit of airspeed as well. We're at about 130 miles per hour, and we certainly don't need that kind of speed getting this close to the airport. You can see the CDI needle is starting to come over to the center. We're at 120 miles per hour now. CDI needle is centered, so we'll try to keep it centered now. In the haze, I can just barely see the lights, white light flashing ahead of us there. Yeah, we're right on the glide slope as well. And we're on the ILS CDI centered. Under 20 miles per hour, we can lose some airspeed. I'm going to put the gear down now. Gears down, 1 notch of flaps. That'll reduce some of the airspeed as well. Brings us down to about 105 miles per hour. We need to center the CDI needle. Glide slope looks good, but we're off on the CDI. We need to move a little bit to the right. We're at 100 miles per hour now. Yeah, we still need to go over more to the right. Glide slope is good. CDI needle is getting centered now. Yep, now it's centered. Try to keep it centered. It's 100 miles per hour. We can start reducing that to about 90. Put in 1 notch of flaps again. That's second notch of flaps. Yeah, there's a boat, couple of boats down there. There. But I need to pay attention to the landing, not the boats. Quite a haze over the city of Penticton. So we're at 90 miles per hour. That's a good speed. A good approach speed. Glide slope looks good. Gonna put in the last notch of flaps now. We're 3 nautical miles from the airport. We're at 80 miles per hour. Gonna try and keep it at about that speed as we approach. We gotta keep the CDI needle centered. Which it is. Runway is right ahead of us. The white approach lights are right in the center of the aircraft, where they should be. Lose some more altitude. Keep the speed at 80. We don't really want to go above 80. We'd have full forward on the props. Reduce the power to lower the altitude. Keeping the speed at about 80. Remember, we're going to do a full stop landing here to refuel. Okay, still looking good. 80, we could reduce our speed down to 70 now if we like. When we get over the numbers. We're over the numbers. Reduce the speed to 70. And gently touch down. There we are. That's nice. Okay, flaps are all coming up. Trim is going back to neutral. And we'll catch you after we refuel. I'll just pause the video while we go up to the ramp and refuel. Catch you back at the threshold of runway. Okay, we have refueled. We now have full tanks, 30 gallons in each. And we're at the threshold of 16, and we are ready to depart. Parking brake released. Full power. Trim is set to neutral. 60 knots, 70 knots, 80 knots. We will rotate. We are off the ground. And the gears coming up. And the flaps coming up. Okay, so our next, I'll show you on the map what's happening. Well, there we are. We've just taken off from Penticton. We're coming down here to waypoint 2, following the highway, which is to my right. And then we're going to follow it across, all the way across here, following the highway, making some turns. We're going to go down into Caramios. And then on our way, we'll go northwesterly up to Princeton, where we can do a touch and go at Princeton. And that's basically where we're at right now, so we'll just keep flying the route here. And we'll pick up the aircraft as we pick up the video as we get closer to Caramios. So that's the end of the Okanagan Lake right here. Now we're going to head west over the mountains down this valley. So we'll do that for a little bit of the trip now, and see how quickly we can get to Caramios. up at 6,000 feet, which we really don't need to be that high. And Karamios is right ahead of us. Just going to reduce the power, and the prop levers will pull them back. And we're going to make a right turn down the valley from Karamios, following the highway, which is Highway 3. I'll show that to you on the map. That's Karamios right in here. We're just cutting the corner a bit, and we're going to follow this Highway 3 down through the valley all the way along to Princeton. It's going to lose some altitude because there's no need to be up at 6,000 feet, that's for sure. That's a nice day for flying. Let's see what the weather is showing us. Winds are 250 almost a headwind at 7 or 8 knots. Live weather. All looking good. So we'll just keep following this highway until we get to Princeton. We are honing in on Princeton quite nicely. I think we'll do a touch and go on runway 22. The elevation at Princeton is 2,300 feet. I'll show that to you on the map. So there we are, we're following the highway. Here's Princeton. We're going to come in out here over this kind of flat land over here and come in on runway 22 and do a touch and go, and then veer off to the right and continue our course. So that's the plan. Okay, we should lose some altitude because we are too high. Yeah. Elevation is 2,300. Although we have a little way to go yet. Five nautical miles to go to get to Princeton. it should be just up here by these flat lands out here. We'll come in and we'll make our final approach into runway 22 this way. Actually, it's going to be more like this way. We don't want to get too close to this hillside. Right, Bubba? Bubba's enjoying the flight. He's enjoying the flight. Okay, 3,000 feet. We can start losing a little bit more altitude. Let's put our gear down. Gears down, we'll put in 1 notch of flaps. And we need to just look for the runway, look for the airport. Just gonna go off to our right a little bit. Right where the river takes a bend right there is kind of the airport, should be right ahead of it. In fact, either that's it there or it's right in here somewhere. Yeah, that should be it right there. Put in another notch of flaps, reduce some more airspeed. Yep, I see the runway. We're on a base leg. We're going to turn final now. Overshot the final. It's okay, we can come back to it. Gear is down and locked. We're at 90 miles an hour. A little bit of water right at the runway there. Huh. 80 miles an hour. Touchdown, and we're back in the air. That was a hard touchdown. That's why I didn't want it to bounce a second time. Okay, gears come up, flaps are up. Turn right to get back on course. Now, I think I'll follow the highway, which is to my left. And just up here a little bit, I will turn to the right. Go down the valley, which is where the highway will be running. Highway and the river, actually. There's a highway below us. Right there. Part of the river. There's the river down below us there. And that's the highway. So our next landing spot will be coming into Hope. I'm pausing some of the video as I go along because there's not a whole lot to see up here other than mountaintops. Okay, so we are fast approaching Hope. I'm gonna tune in the ADF. We better stay away from these mountaintops, so let's get away from these mountaintops. But I'll just show you, there's an ADF right here. I'm gonna tune that in. 245. And we'll swap that over. Yeah, I kind of had to veer off to the right in order to get away from these mountains. And I need to get a little bit higher altitude going here. So the ADF, the NDB is picking up the ADF signal. You can see it right there. I'm gonna go through this little crevice between these two mountaintops right here. In order to get back on track. Get back over into the valley. Okay, we should be clear of the mountains now. And we are. So we'll just head down the valley. Let's see what the ADF is telling us. So the station is just a little bit to our right. That's okay. We'll just follow this. That highway that we're getting close to in line there, that's highway 3. That'll take us right directly to the Hope Airport. We better lose some. We're getting a little bit too fast in our speed here. So you can see we're heading straight to the ADF. And the highway is right down there below us. And I could start losing some altitude now because Hope is... What's the altitude for Hope? It is... oh, it's only 128 feet. It's right down at sea level almost. Yeah. Going to be coming in on runway 07. Actually, no, not 07. Runway 25. Alright, let's lose some speed. so we can put our gear down. Okay, we are now at the speed to lower the gear. So gear is down and 1 notch of flaps coming in. Gonna come in on runway 25. Okay, we're gonna have to side slip this in because we are way too high. So we're going to do the side slip maneuver. Actually, we'll do a forward slip is what we'll do. That's the airfield right ahead of us right there. So I think what I'm going to do is going to circle around, do a circle, 360-degree orbit on this final approach. Put in full flaps. Okay, we're getting a little bit better now. We're coming down to 1,000 feet and 100 miles per hour. That is much better. Okay, we should be able to line up now for final. That's the Great Fraser River below us. Trying to get lined up for this grass strip. Okay. I think we'll just do a touch and go here. There's no point doing a full stop landing here. And we're doing it, we're a little fast too, so. In fact, we may not do a touch and go, we may just do a flyover. Yeah, I think we'll just do a flyover. Let's get the gear back up, flaps back up. Let's see, what does our fuel look like? Yeah, we're okay. We'll leave it on the right tank for a little while. So this is the Fraser River that's below us. that's the Trans-Canada Highway. The next airport we'll do a full stop landing at is Chilliwack, and that's coming up very shortly. It's also runway 25. And the altitude of Chilliwack is 32 feet. It sure is hazy. I'll show you on the map where we are. There's Chilliwack, where we're going to do a touch and go landing. And there we are, coming down the Fraser River. I think while I'm here, I will switch tanks. Yeah. We'll switch put the left tank on, take the right tank off. It's been hazy all along this trip. Very hazy. Now, if we follow this Trans-Canada Highway, which is off to my left, it eventually runs right into runway 25, the threshold of runway 25, and it just veers off to the left a little bit as we get to the airport. There's a lot of these small islands along the Fraser River here. Fraser River is noted for its fishing, its salmon fishing. Yep, not just for private individuals, but for commercial fishing. There's a lot of salmon running up and down the Fraser River. So the town of Chilliwack is just ahead of us right there. All across there, actually. Town of Chilliwack. little bit of altitude. Get down to about 1,000 feet and lose some airspeed. And then we can deploy the, put the gear down. Okay, let's put the gear down and let's put in 1 notch of flaps. Runway is just up ahead of us. Can't quite see it yet, but it's just up there. We'll see it shortly. Okay, prop levers are full forward. At 1,000 feet. Speed is too fast. A lot of power lines. Look at all the power lines below me. Look at them all. Major power grid coming in to feed Vancouver. Let's keep the altitude a little bit higher. We don't want to be going into the ground just yet. Okay, let's get back over the highway. Just off to my left a little bit. Okay, we're pretty much over the highway, and we're just going to follow this highway on a 250-degree heading, and that should take us right to the airport. The airport should be right there. Just want to stay over the highway, and you can see where the highway veers off to the left, and the airport is right there. There's the runway right there. Lose altitude now. Put in another notch of flaps. Put in all the flaps. Lose some airspeed and some altitude. Looking good so far. Oh, some birds flying over. They almost hit the airplane. We almost had a bird strike. Let's lose some airspeed. I always have this habit of coming in too fast. I'm a little high, but that's okay. Coming down to 80 miles an hour right now. It's a good speed to approach at. Then we'll touch down at about 70. Yeah, we're going to touch down at about 70. Nice touchdown. Okay, we're going back around now. Gears coming up. Flaps are coming up. Nose down a bit more. And now we're gonna fly to Boundary Bay. And that'll be our destination. So we're just gonna follow down through this kind of valley area right here. So we are over the city of Chilliwack. We've got a little way to go. We're about 45 nautical miles to the Abbotsford Airport. Oh, not the Abbotsford, to the Boundary Bay Airport. Actually, you know what we could do? We could do a little bit of a diversion, and I'll just show you and make a touch and go at Abbotsford, Abbotsford International, which is right here. Yeah, why not? May as well. May as well. And then from Abbotsford, it's a quick shot over to Boundary Bay. Just looking for the power lines. We should be right over some power lines that there we are. So we're following these power lines all the way to Abbotsford. And the highway is coming up ahead of us. The Trans-Canada there it is there. That's the Trans-Canada Highway ahead of us there. And there's the power lines. Yeah, we're right on track because the power lines will cross the highway right there. And That's a perfect lineup for runway 25 into Abbotsford. Let's see, the ADF to Abbotsford is 344. Let's tune in that ADF. There's a ADF needle swinging around. We want to keep it centered, and that'll bring us right to the airport. And that'll bring us right to the airport. We're going to keep it at about 1,000 feet. Just see the ADF needle just to our right there. We want to keep it centered. We're right over the Trans-Canada Highway, and this is the city of Abbotsford is coming up on my right-hand side. All in here is the city of Abbotsford. We want to keep that ADF needle pointing straight up. And we don't want to go any lower than 1,000 feet. Abbotsford is actually almost 200 feet. 194 foot elevation. I can see the runway lights ahead of me. There they are right there. Let's put our landing gear down. One notch of flaps. We just need one notch of flaps. It has been very, very hazy this entire flight. And are we coming down to, we're at 110 miles an hour, still a little fast. But we're just doing a touch and go. Let's bring the speed down a little bit more. No, we don't want any more altitude. Just keep it right where it is. Speed at about 80. Speed at 80, hold it off right there. Okay, head back up again. And now we'll make our way to Boundary Bay. Charlie Zulu, Bravo, Bravo. Gears coming up. Laps are coming up. Tune ADF to the White Rock NDB, which I believe is 332. Let's have a look at the map and see what it is. Yeah, it's 332. And we can see the ADF needle pointing ahead of us. I'll show you on the map where we are. We're heading for this ADF, this NDB I should say, right here. And that's the town of White Rock, the city of White Rock. I used to live in White Rock. And this is where we're going to be landing, Boundary Bay. It's very gusty up here today, I must say. That's okay. We've flown in gusty weather before. The mighty Pacific Ocean is ahead of us. And we are 28 nautical miles to Boundary Bay Airport. Should be coming up to the White Rock NDB any moment now. We're heading straight for it. Because it's right at the water's edge, right at the coastline is where the NDB is actually positioned. And that's the city of White Rock. And this is the town of Blaine, Washington. Right here. When we see this needle starting to swing, we will turn our... That means we're passing over the NDB, and we'll make a right turn and head over the city of White Rock. You can see the needle starting to move now. There's Peace Portal Golf Course down in there. There the needle has moved. Now we're going to head over to the city of White Rock. There's downtown White Rock. There's the pier. Famous pier, and they have a beautiful promenade walking area all along here. Very, very pretty. Now let's get ourselves positioned to land at Boundary Bay. Yeah, I lived in this city of White Rock for 17 years. There's a sports field. It's a beautiful sports field here. Softball. Now I've got the VOR tuned into the Vancouver VOR, YVR. And that should bring us right to runway 25. Before we do that, we'll just do a little diversion right over here in front of me. Just a little tourist King George Air Park. Right in here. And then we're going to fly over Delta Heritage Air Park, which is right in line with runway 25 into Boundary Bay. You can see the VOR is now lined up. So we want to keep that needle lined up. We are 12 nautical miles from VOR, but the airport is about 5 nautical miles from the VOR, so about 7 nautical miles we'll be at the airport. We'll fly directly over the Delta Heritage airstrip. It's a grass airstrip. That's it right there, in that direction. And you can see Boundary Bay Airport is right ahead of me right there. There's the Delta Heritage grass strip right there. And it's right in line with runway 25 at Boundary Bay. Excuse me. So I'm going to put the gear down. Gears down. 1 notch of flaps. Speed is coming down. Put in 2 notches of flaps. We're at 120 miles an hour. We need to reduce that significantly down to 100. Props are full forward. Gear power is back. Just to lose some altitude and some airspeed. Okay, we're coming to 100 miles an hour. It's still too fast. Pull that nose up a little bit more. Okay, that's a little better. 90 miles an hour. Let's try and make this a good landing, because it's the last one of the evening. We should be at about 200 feet when we're crossing over these trees. And that's just about where we are. We're at 80 miles an hour. We're hands-free on the landing. Coming down to 70 miles an hour. Won't touch down until we touch the piano keys. There we are. Now we can touch down. There we are. That was a nice gentle touchdown. Wasn't paying attention and I slipped off the runway a little bit. And there we are at our first turn off. I'm going to retract the flaps. And we'll just stop here for a moment. Clean up the airplane. Okay, flaps are up. The left landing light is off and the right is left on. The strobes can come off, fuel pump can come off, pitot heat can come off, carb heat is closed, trim is back to neutral, and now we can proceed to a parking spot. I like to park right here at parking number 25. Kind of my favorite parking spot. Right beside this 172. Alright, let's make a quick left turn. Yeah, I think we're lined up enough. Looks good to me. We'll put the brakes on. Brakes are on. So we're going to shut down. Parking brakes is set. Let's do a mag test to make sure there's no shortages. You turn it off. You turn it back on to make sure it's still running. And we'll pull the mixture back to lean. Pull the props back. Pull the throttle down. Turn the magnetos off. Avionics can come off. The right landing light can turn off, and the beacon lights can turn off. Fuel selectors should be closed. Oh, doesn't want to close. Why doesn't it want to close? There we go. Let's open the door just to get some fresh air in here. Because sometimes Bubba, the bulldog, sometimes he has a bit of a smell to him. We just want to open up the doors. So everything is shut down. All the other switches are turned off. Except the master switch is now being turned off. Master switch is off. And we should be able to get out of the airplane. Yep. And that's our trip of leg 20. Landed safely at Boundary Bay. And I just want to thank you for watching the video. Leg 21 is going to take us from the mainland over to Vancouver Island. And that'll be, there's only 3 more legs left because we finish up at leg 23. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you at leg 21.
Foxtrot Bravo Bravo, pull up and go around.
Go around, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Tower India Echo Lima, downwind 13, touch and go.
India Echo Lima number 3, follow Cessna left base, turning 1 mile final.
India Echo Lima.
Foxtrot Bravo Bravo Tower, fly runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, change of plans, cross over midfield, join right downwind runway 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, cross over midfield, join the right downwind for 13.